Did I realise that it was going to change our whole trip and experience? Blew my mind. Having that kitchen outside and having everyone there by the campfire right there, I must have missed out on so much that I didn't even know I missed out on.
Being on the road and travelling and not being taxed behind the wheel, so important.
I wouldn't call it a camper.
No.
I think it's too luxury for a camper.
This is just epic. A couple that builds four-wheel drives as coffee bars. Wild as it sounds, that's us in a nutshell. When I delved into roasting with a close friend of mine and also understanding more about coffee, we had a plan and set that we wanted to go out and travel Australia. So I was like, let's create a coffee bar so that we can connect with people, earn some dollars on the road and just have fun with it. And we were like, listen, let's just try it. So one Christmas when we were sort of planning all this, we had the van around the campfire, whole family, up in a property in northern New South Wales. And I said to Janelle, we had a brand new van, mind you. I was like, here's my coffee setup. I'm gonna cut a hole in the caravan and turn it into a window so I can serve from. She said,
You're not doing that.
No, you're not.
She said, there was a few words that came out, but I won't mention them right now. And so I walked outside and I had a Ford Ranger at the time and I had a canopy over the top of it and I went, could do it in that. So that kicked it all off and then it was just one thing led to another. It turned into something different and people often today ask, how do you brew good coffee but then jump over there and build a power plant, fit out canopies and do the likes? And it was just based off just sheer determination to provide people something that hasn't been done before. John Williamson, what was it like? Well, if I can sum it up, I'm a Middle Eastern, and I think I could probably say I was the only Middle Eastern on Big Red or at the Birdsville Hotel enjoying some real country Aussie music, you know, because I remember through school we grew up listening to John Williamson. That was there was some songs that they used to play through school. When I seen tickets pop up for that, I'm like, nah, gotta go, we've got to take Janelle's parents out, gotta go out there. The experience of being up on top of Big Red, which a lot of people don't realise, because it was limited to 1,000 tickets per night for the 2 nights, they actually brought the concert on top of Big Red.
So it was on top of the actual...
On top of the hill.
Sand dune.
That was just an experience in itself.
And I had my mum and dad out there, so to have that memory and experience with them is probably something that I won't ever forget.
We didn't go out with them. They wouldn't have come up. And also, you know, you got the element of understanding that they've just had a massive wet. So, you know, all that deluge and that trauma that they've experienced now has all just come to life. You know, animals are flourishing, the bird life is phenomenal out there. I've never seen so many birds. And the greenery that you just see, it's just like, wow, this is just epic.
What is normally a dirt pit where Big Red was
green.
On the other side of where you come out of the Simpson Desert, there's still water completely covering
It's
that
like a
area.
river.
Yeah,
it's like an inland river. And as far as your eye can see.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was just epic. It was so cool.
When we were going away and Andrew's like, oh, Jossie's going to lend us a camper to take. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my head, I was just thinking, yeah, oh, that's cool because it'll be easier to pack and everything like that. Did I realise that it was going to change our whole trip and experience and take it to another level? Blew my mind. So for me, I really like cooking and I love spending time in the kitchen, and that's just my passion when I'm not, you know, it's my downtime. I switch off and I just get in my zone and I'm in the kitchen. And I was only saying to Andrew when we got back, I didn't realise when we travelled Australia that I spent so much time in the kitchen disconnected to what was actually going on outside. Until this trip, and having that kitchen outside and having everyone there by the campfire right there, I must have missed out on so much that I didn't even know I missed out on, because I was always inside in the kitchen doing things and prepping. And the other thing was, I thought I had a kitchen like Sovereign Island, but I didn't, because the space, whoever has done the design on this kitchen for me has, and I've said this, has absolutely nailed it, because there's so much usability of kitchen space and bench top, and it's really been well thought out. I could probably say I reckon I would have 3 more times the space in this than I actually had in our big caravan. It wasn't a small caravan, it was a big caravan that we lived in.
You know, I've had the X range out last year when we went out to Fing. That I didn't even feel. On the back of that cruiser, I honestly was like, is it there? I used to say to the boys, is it behind me still? Like, can you see it? You know, and they're like, yeah, it's going good, bro. Whereas this, you can see it. It's just, it's in line with the vehicle. The roof's in line with the vehicle. It's proportioned, you know? And that to me, there's so much safety, so much comfort. And we did 9 days, Birdsville and back. And we drove every single day, a lot of Ks. I got back, we unloaded late at night because we still had energy. So we did a 9.5 hour run, pulled up late at night, unloaded the whole camp in the car, got up at 5 in the morning, went outside before the sun was up, started detailing both the rigs, and we did a 9.5 hour day of cleaning. And I tell you what, we didn't even feel it. So that proves that being on the road and traveling and not being taxed behind the wheel, so important. And people just miss that. And I think size doesn't matter when you're living outside. Like, we purposely took the TV out of the ST5 because we don't watch TV. We go camping to see a bushfire, to see all sorts of those elements, birds in the trees and sunsets and sunrises and change of colour in the scenery, and, you know, or just talk to each other.
And you're not limited to where you pull it up, because there's a lot of spots that are the best spots that you can't get to with the caravan. Like, you can't get under those tree lines. You can't pull into those tight spaces. And, you know, or if you go, oh shit, that's not good, let's go back there. You just literally turn the car in the van, the camper just follows with you. It's just, and there was a couple of times when we were on the dirt road and we hit some ruts, and I was like, and then I look and I'm like, oh no, it's stuck to the car. It's just
you see washouts,
it just moves with you.
You hit them and it just, like, you hit them at noise. And we had a friend of ours that was towing behind us, and he said if that was a van, that would have been game over. And I said, he goes, how'd that feel? And I said, dude, I didn't feel it. You know, and that's hand on heart, you know. So, and that's coming from experience of being out in the fields as well, on these rugged tracks and stuff like that. So there's no going back to
I was more relaxed as a passenger because I wasn't worried as much either, you know, because even as a passenger, you're constantly looking in your rear vision mirror of what's going on with the, you know,
seeing if
what's
the
going
van's going to come past you.
You know, if I took him down the wrong way, then I wasn't going to get in trouble because he can just turn around. Yeah, it was a very different experience for us. The toilet and shower, I was like, oh, I've never had an all-in-one. But the design that you lift up that floor and it covers the toilet and nothing gets wet, it's mind-blowing. Like, I didn't feel like I missed out on anything in something so compact than I had in our big van. Keep
in mind too, on this trip, in our head, we were swagging it.
It
was a cruiser and swag because we've done that before. Yes, it was years ago, and we still get out with the swag, quick trips and whatnot, but I'll tell you what, that swag's up for sale. I'm telling you. I was like driving back, I'm like, what were we thinking? We're not 21, you know, and yeah, it's all well and good, but we're definitely, the swag is for an overnighter, if that. if that. So, yeah.
And it was cold, like it was fresh.
Oh, yeah.
So to have the diesel heater, I'd wake up in the morning and kind of like switch the diesel heater on. And then you hop out of the shower and you've got the warmth of the heater and, you know,
Hot
you
water.
can get, hot water.
Yep.
You can get ready in comfort. Like
Yep.
I, even though we're traveling and we're camping, I still like to do my hair and makeup, call me a princess, whatever, but I still like to have that done. And to be able to have that space and be in
Yeah.
there comfortably and warm, it made such a difference.
One morning I stood up in the shower
Oh yeah,
And I thought I'll just unzip these.
unzipped the shower windows, rolled them down, and the sun was dead set on the horizon coming up.
It was
And I
coming
just,
up.
These two were outside, and I'm like, this is the best, excuse the language, best experiences I've ever had. Like just standing, seeing that horizon.
You
And
actually
I don't
got
think-
out and let me have a shower.
I said, get in there and just
because
experience
I want you to
it.
experience it.
It was
And
unreal.
it was
Because you don't, no
beautiful.
matter what van you've got,
You can't do that. That experience and the fact that you can physically stand inside and at eye level, 360-degree views. Caravans don't have that. You've got to get down and look underneath. You know what I mean? And that's just their little things that from experience, this just gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling. That's the difference with that.
I think the lighting inside too, for me,
Oh,
it
yeah.
felt luxury inside because of that warm lighting and the strip lighting and stuff. You felt like you
Yeah.
were in a higher class, not inside a camper.
yeah, I wouldn't call it a camper.
No.
I don't
No,
think
you
we can
probably wouldn't call it a
camper. I think it's too luxury for a camper. But yeah, for us, man, that's a wrap. Like that was sick.
We've experienced a fair bit, but that was just, I don't know, it made it. I sent a message to Judgy straight away. From the first night, second night, I was like, dude, thank you so much. Like that, this is just epic.
I was ready to keep
To go,
going.
yeah. I said that, I said it's ready to go.
If
Let's go.
let's go again. If we didn't have to come back to the business, there's no way I
Oh, yeah.
wasn't like, oh my God, get me out of here. I'm ready to go home to my own space and my own bed. Not at all. I actually couldn't believe even how comfy the bed in there was
Yeah.
because I wasn't sure with the whole fold out situation, but damn, it was comfy.
And coming from the experience through cold climate, so
Yeah.
doing it in a time where, when you're in Queensland, you're not really experiencing that type of temperature, that type of weather. So I think we tested this thing out in the worst possible case other than the snow. I could only imagine what it would be like in summer,
yeah.
where you don't need diesel heaters, you don't need hot water, you don't need any of that, and you can just it's just open.
There's pride that you wear on your shoulder and on your heart. You know what I mean? And I think that's where, for me, and I know Justin's very much the same. It really comes down to the inner being itself and what we want to provide the people. Like ultimately, forget the money, forget everything, forget the heroism. It's about what we want to deliver to the people, creating something that you want people to sit there and go, hey, that's amazing. For me, it's just about delivering to the people that want, that high-end level of expectation, and they receive it and receive it well. And that's really what I'm built on, and I know Justin's the same.